They created a petition to remove me from family events because I brought down the vibe. So I vanished completely and became the medical director who just denied my father's insurance claim. If this story touches your heart, support us by subscribing. And while you do, share where you're watching from. It's always amazing to see our viewers from everywhere. I found the petition on Thanksgiving morning. Not handed to me directly. That would have required courage my family didn't possess. No, my cousin Shanice's boyfriend accidentally airdropped it to my phone while trying to send it to someone else. 17 signatures. 17 members of my own family signed a document titled, "Why Kendra Should Be Excluded from Family Functions." I stood in my childhood bathroom, hands trembling, reading complaints like "too negative, brings down the energy," and my personal favorite, "makes successful people feel uncomfortable with her poverty mentality." I was 28, working 80-hour weeks as a medical resident while paying off student loans from Howard University and helping Mama with her mortgage after Daddy's construction business went under. My sister Imani had written, "She makes every conversation about struggle. We're trying to celebrate abundance." This from the woman whose nursing school tuition I'd paid half of 6 years ago. The bathroom door handle jiggled. "Kendra, baby, you almost done? We're about to say grace," Mama called, her voice warm and unsuspecting. Through the door, I heard Daddy's booming laugh, my brother Marcus discussing his new Tesla, Imani squealing about her Caribbean vacation. The scent of candied yams and mac and cheese wafted through, smells that used to mean safety. I flushed the toilet for effect and stared at my reflection. Dark circles under my eyes from last night's 12-hour shift. Scrubs I hadn't had time to change out of. I looked exactly like what they'd written about. Tired, struggling, uncomfortable. I opened the door wearing the smile I'd perfected. "Let's eat," I said. Daddy sat at the head of the table like a king who'd forgotten he'd lost his kingdom 4 years ago. His silk shirt probably cost more than my monthly grocery budget, bought with money from God knows where since the business closure. Mama had cooked for 3 days straight, and the table groaned with enough food to feed 40 people, though only 23 had shown up. "Let's go around and share what we're grateful for," Daddy announced, gold watch glinting. "Marcus, son, start us off." My brother stood, wine glass raised. "Grateful for closing that $1 million deal last month, for my beautiful wife Simone, and for family that keeps me grounded." Simone beamed, her Louis Vuitton bag casually placed on the chair beside her. They'd been married 8 months. I'd given them $2,000 as a wedding gift, money I'd saved for my own emergency fund. Around the table it went. Imani grateful for her promotion to nurse practitioner. Cousin Devin grateful for his new Audi. Aunt Cheryl grateful for her 3rd investment property. Uncle Jerome grateful for his grown children's success. Each testimony felt like a small cut. "Kendra." Daddy's eyes found mine. 23 pairs followed. "I'm grateful to be alive," I said simply. "Grateful I saved a 6-year-old's life yesterday during my shift." The table went silent. Then Imani laughed, that tinkling sound she'd developed since dating her lawyer boyfriend. "Always so dramatic, Kendra. We get it, you're a doctor." "Resident," Aunt Cheryl corrected. "Not quite a doctor yet." "Close enough," I said, teeth clenched behind my smile. Daddy cleared his throat. "Let's eat this beautiful meal your mama prepared." I thought about the petition in my phone. 17 signatures. I counted heads. 23 people. 6 people hadn't signed. I needed to know who. After dinner, I cornered Mama in the kitchen. She was elbow deep in soapy water, insisting on washing dishes despite my protests. Her hands, once smooth, now showed the wear of working double shifts at the textile factory after Daddy's business collapsed. "Mama, you see how they treat me?" The words escaped before I could stop them. She didn't look up. Baby, you're sensitive. They're just proud of what they've accomplished. You'll get there too. I'm already there, Mama. I'm a third-year resident. I'll be an attending physician in 18 months. I know, baby. She still wouldn't meet my eyes. But maybe you could talk about other things sometimes. They're not trying to hurt you. My phone buzzed. A text from my cousin Tyrell. Back porch. Now. I found him smoking a cigarette, his wife Jasmine beside him. Tyrell was 35, a high school history teacher who'd never chased wealth like the rest of the family. Jasmine worked as a social worker. We didn't sign it, Tyrell said without preamble. That petition. Neither did Uncle Ray, Aunt Paula, Cousin Michelle, or your mama. My throat tightened. You knew. Imani was passing it around at Marcus's Labor Day cookout. Said you were bringing down the family brand. Jasmine's voice dripped with disgust. Your sister has lost her damn mind. What family brand? I laughed bitterly. Half these people were asking me for money 2 years ago. Tyrell exhaled smoke. Success makes people forget where they came from. They see you still grinding, still struggling, and it reminds them of what they're running from. So what do I do? He crushed his cigarette under his heel. You got options. Me. I'd ghost. Let them miss you. They won't miss me. They literally petitioned to remove me. Jasmine grabbed my hand. Then give them what they want. Disappear so completely they forget you existed. Then come back when you're so successful they can't ignore you. I didn't make a scene. Didn't call a family meeting or send a text blast. I simply stopped showing up. Christmas. Sent gifts via Amazon but claimed emergency shifts. New Year's. Working. Marcus's birthday in February? Sorry, can't make it. Imani's engagement party in March? Have a great time. The first month my phone exploded. Mama called daily. Baby, what's wrong? Why won't you come around? I kept my voice light, blamed work, promised next time. Imani sent passive-aggressive texts. So you're too good for family now? I didn't respond. Marcus tried the authority approach. Dad wants you at Sunday dinner. Be there. I blocked his number. By month 3 the calls slowed. They stopped expecting me. I heard through Tyrell that Imani told everyone I was going through something and needed space. The irony was delicious. They'd created distance, but now I was the problem for maintaining it. I poured myself into work. 90-hour weeks. Extra shifts. Research projects. Dr. Helena Price, the hospital's chief of internal medicine, took notice. She was a fierce black woman in her 50s who'd built her career brick by brick. Dr. Matthews, she called me into her office one April morning. Your performance reviews are exceptional. Your patient outcomes are the best in your cohort. Why are you working yourself to death? I couldn't tell her about the petition, about family dinners I wasn't welcome at, about proving something to people who'd never believe in me. I just love medicine, I said. Her eyes held mine. She didn't believe me, but she respected the lie. There's an administrative fellowship opening. Fast track to medical director positions. Competitive, prestigious, and it would set your career trajectory permanently. Interested? The fellowship was brutal. 18 months of additional training on top of my residency requirements. Healthcare administration, insurance protocols, policy development, quality assurance. I studied insurance claim procedures until I could recite denial codes in my sleep. I learned how the system worked, who held power where money flowed. Dr. Price became my mentor, my champion. You're not just learning medicine, she told me during one late-night study session. You're learning how to change the system. How to make decisions that affect thousands of lives. I was 30 years old, sleeping 4 hours a night, living on coffee and ambition. I'd stopped checking social media, stopped wondering what family events I was missing. Tyrell sent me updates. Imani married her lawyer boyfriend in a ceremony that cost $70,000. Marcus and Simone bought a mansion in the suburbs. Daddy started a consulting business that nobody could quite explain. Through it all, Mama kept calling. I answered every third call, kept conversations short, pleaded exhaustion. "I'm proud of you, baby," she'd say. "But I miss you." The guilt gnawed at me, but not enough to go back. In month 14 of the fellowship, I interviewed for a medical director position at Premium Health Alliance, one of the region's largest insurance networks. The position oversaw claim approvals, provider networks, and medical necessity determinations for over 200,000 members. The interview panel included 3 executives and Dr. Price, who'd recommended me. "Dr. Matthews, you're very young for this role," one executive noted. "Why should we trust you with this level of authority?" I thought about every denied insurance claim I'd fought as a resident. Every patient I'd watched suffer because some administrator decided their treatment wasn't medically necessary. "Because I've been on both sides," I said. "I know what patients need and I understand what the system requires. I won't abuse this power, but I won't shy away from using it." I got the job. At 31, I became one of the youngest medical directors in Premium Health Alliance's history. My salary quadrupled overnight. I moved from my cramped apartment to a renovated loft downtown. Bought my first luxury car. Nothing flashy, just a reliable BMW. Paid off half my student loans in one payment. Dr. Price took me to dinner to celebrate. "You know what this position means?" she asked over wine I could finally afford. "Every claim that gets escalated comes to your desk. Every appeal, every dispute. You hold people's lives in your hands." "I know." The weight of it settled over me. "How do you handle it?" "You make fair decisions. You follow protocol. You remember that behind every claim number is a human being." She paused. "And sometimes, Kendra, you'll have to deny claims from people you know. Friends. Maybe even family. Can you handle that?" I thought about the petition. About 17 signatures from people who thought I brought down their vibe. "Yes," I said. "I can handle that." My first month was overwhelming. Hundreds of claims crossed my desk daily. Most I approved: legitimate treatments, necessary procedures, life-saving medications. But some I denied: cosmetic surgeries disguised as medical necessities, experimental treatments with no evidence basis, luxury rehab facilities when standard care would suffice. I developed a reputation for being fair but firm. Doctors respected me. Patients' advocates knew I'd listen. And slowly, word spread through the medical community. Dr. Kendra Matthews was someone who couldn't be bullied or manipulated. 3 months into the position, Tyrell called. I almost didn't answer. I'd gotten good at not answering. But something made me pick up. "Your daddy had a heart attack," he said. "He's stable, but Kendra, it's bad." My hand tightened on the phone. "Which hospital?" "Mercy General. They admitted him 2 days ago." 2 days. My voice rose. "Why didn't anyone call me?" "Imani said not to bother you. Said you'd made it clear you didn't care about the family anymore." I showed up at Mercy General still wearing my work clothes. Tailored suit, heels that clicked authoritatively on the linoleum. I'd been in countless hospitals during my training, but walking into one as a visitor felt different. Vulnerable. Daddy was in room 412. I stood outside the door watching through the window. He looked small in the hospital bed, diminished. The man who dominated every room he entered now had tubes in his arms and oxygen in his nose. Mama sat beside him holding his hand. She looked exhausted, older than her 54 years. Marcus emerged from the room, nearly walking into me. His eyes widened. Kendra? What are you doing here? Visiting my father. That allowed, or did you need to take a vote? He had the decency to look ashamed. Look, about that petition thing. Don't. I held up a hand. Is Imani here? She went to the cafeteria. Kendra, he's really sick. Triple bypass surgery scheduled for next week. The doctors say his coronary arteries are severely blocked. I processed this clinically. Triple bypass was serious but survivable with proper care. What hospital is doing the surgery? Mercy General. Dr. Rodriguez is the surgeon. You might know him. I did. Excellent surgeon, high success rates. That's good. He's one of the best. Simone appeared behind Marcus, her expression cold. We have it handled, Kendra. You don't need to swoop in now and play doctor. I'm not playing. I am a doctor. You know what I mean. You disappeared for almost 2 years. Missed birthdays, holidays, weddings. Now suddenly you care. The injustice of it burned. I disappeared because I was uninvited. There was literally a petition. Oh, here we go. Imani's voice came from behind me. I turned to see my sister holding 2 coffee cups, her face twisted in disdain. Still playing victim, I see. The hospital hallway wasn't the place for this, but 2 years of silence erupted out of me. Playing victim? Shanice's boyfriend literally airdropped me a petition with 17 signatures asking to exclude me from family events. Because you were insufferable. Imani's voice rose. Nurses glanced our way. Every gathering you had to talk about how hard you worked, how broke you were, how much you struggled. It was exhausting. I was working 100 hours a week as a resident while helping Mama with bills after Daddy's business failed. Sorry if my reality made you uncomfortable. See? There it is again. She gestured wildly, coffee sloshing. Always throwing the past in our faces. We moved on. We became successful. You stayed stuck. Marcus stepped between us. Both of you stop. Dad's in there recovering from a heart attack. Yeah, Kendra, Simone added. Show some class. I laughed, the sound bitter. Class? You want to talk about class? Where was your class when you all decided I was too poor, too negative, too real for your manufactured perfect family narrative? Nobody said that, Marcus protested weakly. It was literally written in the petition, Marcus. Poverty mentality. Makes successful people uncomfortable. Your wife signed it. You signed it. His face reddened. I thought, it wasn't supposed to, you weren't supposed to see that. Oh, so the cruelty was fine as long as I didn't know about it? I stared at all 3 of them. You know what? You were right. I don't belong here. Not because I'm not successful enough, but because I have integrity, and apparently that's not a family value anymore. I turned toward Daddy's room. Mama stood in the doorway, tears streaming down her face. How long have you been standing there? I asked. Long enough. Her voice broke. There was a petition to exclude my daughter. Imani paled. Mama, it wasn't like that. Don't. Mama's voice turned sharp. Don't you dare minimize this. Mama made everyone follow her to the family waiting room. Daddy was asleep, sedated, which was probably better. The truth was about to get ugly. Tyrell and Jasmine appeared, summoned by some invisible family alert system. Aunt Cheryl, Uncle Jerome, and Cousin Devon filtered in, looking confused. Someone needs to explain this petition to me, Mama said, arms crossed. Right now. The room went silent. Finally, Imani spoke. He was just venting, Mama. We were frustrated. Kendra made every family event uncomfortable with her constant complaints about money and work. We worked hard too. We just wanted to celebrate our success without feeling guilty. Guilty. Mama's voice rose. You should feel guilty. This girl paid for half your nursing school. She loaned Marcus $5,000 for his business startup. She sent me money every month even when she was barely eating herself. We didn't ask her to do that, Marcus muttered. No, but you took it. You all took it. Mama's eyes swept the room. When Jerome's business was failing, who researched bankruptcy lawyers? Kendra. When Cheryl's daughter needed a medical specialist, who made the calls? Kendra. When Devon's son was sick, who talked to the doctors, translated the medical jargon? My daughter. The one you decided was bringing down your vibe. Aunt Cheryl looked uncomfortable. Vivian, we didn't know about the petition. But you signed it. I pulled out my phone, opened the airdrop document. Your signature is right here. I agree that Kendra should be excluded from family functions. You, Uncle Jerome, Imani, Marcus, Simone, Devon, Shanice. I read off all 17 names. You kept it. Imani whispered. You've been holding on to that for 2 years. I kept it because I needed to remember. Needed to remember what you all really thought of me. I stood. But you want to know the funny thing? That petition was the best gift you ever gave me. They stared at me confused. That petition woke me up, I continued, feeling powerful for the first time in years. Made me realize I was killing myself for people who resented me. So I stopped. I disappeared like you wanted. And I used that time to transform my entire life. You're still a doctor, Simone said dismissively. Same as before. Actually, I'm a medical director now. At Premium Health Alliance. I oversee insurance claim approvals and denials for over 200,000 members. I make more in a month than I used to make in a year as a resident. The words felt good. Strong. Marcus's eyes widened. Premium Health Alliance? That's Daddy's insurance company. The room went still. I watched understanding dawn on their faces, watched the color drain from Imani's cheeks. Oh my God, she whispered. The surgery. I smiled, and it wasn't kind. Triple bypass surgery. Estimated cost $350,000. Already submitted to Premium Health for pre-authorization. I paused. It crossed my desk this morning. Mama's hand flew to her mouth. Kendra, baby, you wouldn't. Wouldn't what? Deny it? Why not? I'm too negative, remember? I bring down the vibe. Maybe I'd deny it just to maintain that brand consistency. That's our father, Marcus said, voice shaking. Our dad. You can't seriously be suggesting. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm telling you that I have the power to make decisions about his medical care. Me. The daughter who wasn't good enough for Sunday dinners. The room erupted. Everyone talking at once, pleading, threatening, crying. Through it all, I stood silent, letting them feel a fraction of the helplessness I'd felt reading that petition 2 years ago. Finally, Tyrell's voice cut through the chaos. Everybody shut up. The room silenced. He looked at me. You're not going to deny the claim. How do you know? Because you're not like them. I left them in the waiting room and went to see Daddy. He was awake now, looking frail and scared. Mama followed me in, closing the door behind us. For a long moment I just stood there, looking at the man who'd been my hero as a child. Kendra, baby girl. His voice was weak. When did you get here? About an hour ago. I moved closer to the bed. How are you feeling? Like someone sitting on my chest. The doctors say I need surgery. His eyes filled with tears. I'm scared, baby. Real scared. My clinical detachment crumbled. This was my daddy. The man who'd taught me to ride a bike, who'd worked double shifts to pay for my SAT prep courses, who'd cried when I got into Howard University. The surgery has a high success rate, I said gently. Dr. Rodriguez is excellent. You'll be okay. Marcus told me, Told me you're some big shot at the insurance company now. He tried to smile. My daughter, all important. I did well for myself, yes. Your mama told me about the petition. Shame crossed his face. I didn't know, Kendra. I swear I didn't know. I would have stopped it. You didn't sign it? Hell no, I didn't sign it. You're my daughter. You could show up in a potato sack covered in mud and you'd still be welcome at my table. He reached for my hand. But I failed you anyway. I saw how they treated you, how they made you feel small. I should have said something. Should have defended you. Mama moved to his other side. We both should have. We let them hurt our child because we didn't want conflict. We chose peace over protection. And now you think I'll choose revenge over doing the right thing? I looked at both of them. You think I became a doctor to play God with people's lives? No, baby, Mama said. But we'd understand if you were angry. I was angry. Furious, actually. I returned to work the next day and pulled Daddy's file. The claim was exactly as described. Triple bypass surgery, medically necessary, surgeon in-network, hospital in-network. By every objective measure it should be approved. My personal feelings were irrelevant. The question was whether I could remain objective. Dr. Price appeared at my office door. Heard you had a family situation at Mercy General yesterday. Everything okay? My father needs heart surgery. The pre-authorization is on my desk. Her expression didn't change, but I saw the understanding in her eyes. That's a conflict of interest. You should recuse yourself, let another medical director handle it. I know. I stared at the file. But I also know that if I pass this to someone else, they might deny it. Not because it isn't medically necessary, but because they're overworked and it's easier to deny complex cases. At least I know I'll review it thoroughly. That's a dangerous game, Kendra. Life is a dangerous game. I opened the file. Every single person who signed that petition asking to exclude me from family events is now calling, texting, begging me to approve this claim. They think I have unlimited power. They think I'm vindictive enough to let their father die to prove a point. Are you? I looked up at her. No. But I'm not going to make it easy on them either. I spent 3 days reviewing every aspect of Daddy's claim. His medical history, his risk factors, alternative treatments, surgical necessity. I consulted with cardiologists, reviewed medical literature, checked and double-checked every detail. The claim was solid. Medically necessary. Appropriate. On day 4, I called a family meeting at the hospital. Everyone came. All 17 petition signers plus the 6 who'd refused to sign. They crowded into the family conference room, anxious and afraid. Daddy was stable. Surgery scheduled for the following week, pending insurance approval. I stood at the head of the table where Daddy usually sat during family dinners. The symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. I reviewed the claim, I said. Thoroughly. The silence was suffocating. Imani's hands trembled. Marcus looked like he might throw up. Even Simone had lost her superior smirk. I let them suffer a moment longer, remembering every slight, every dismissive comment, every time they'd made me feel less than. The surgery is approved, I finally said. Pre-authorization confirmed this morning. Dr. Rodriguez can proceed as scheduled. The room exhaled collectively. Mama started crying. Marcus dropped his head into his hands. But I wasn't finished. However, I want to be clear about something. I approved this claim because it's medically necessary and appropriate, not because of family pressure. If this same claim came from a stranger, I'd have approved it. I don't abuse my position for revenge or favoritism. That's the difference between me and all of you. I pulled out my phone, displayed the petition one last time. You created this document because I made you uncomfortable. Because watching me struggle reminded you of your own struggles. And you'd rather exclude me than feel that discomfort. You chose cruelty over compassion. We're sorry, Imani whispered. We were wrong. So wrong. You were. But your apology doesn't erase 2 years of absence. Doesn't erase missed milestones, holidays I spent alone, or the message you sent that I wasn't good enough. I looked around the room. Daddy's surgery is covered. He'll recover. But don't mistake my professional ethics for personal forgiveness. Tyrell spoke up. So what happens now? Now. I smiled sadly. Now I go back to my life. The successful, fulfilling life I built without any of you. You wanted me gone because I brought down your vibe. Well, you got your wish. I'm not coming back. Mama stood. Baby, please. Mama, you can visit me anytime. Call me, text me, we'll have lunch. Same goes for the 6 of you who didn't sign. I nodded at Tyrell, Jasmine, Aunt Paula, Uncle Ray, Michelle, and Cousin Troy. But the rest of you? You made your choice 2 years ago. Now live with it. I walked toward the door. Behind me, voices erupted. Protests, pleas, promises to change. I kept walking. Down the hallway, past the nurse's station, out into the parking lot where my BMW waited. The evening air was cool, cleansing. My phone buzzed. A text from Dr. Price. How'd it go? I approved the claim and set boundaries. Finally. Proud of you. Dinner tonight? My treat. I smiled. Perfect. As I drove away from Mercy General, I thought about the girl who'd stood in that bathroom 2 years ago, reading a petition that shattered her world. She'd thought family was everything, that blood meant loyalty. She'd been naive. But that girl was gone. In her place stood Dr. Kendra Matthews, medical director, who'd learned that sometimes the family you choose is stronger than the family you're born into. Who'd learned that success isn't about making others comfortable. It's about being comfortable with yourself. The petition had meant to destroy me. Instead, it had freed me. And that, I realized, was the sweetest revenge of all. Not hurting them back, but becoming so completely myself that their approval no longer mattered. I drove toward my new life, leaving the old one in my rearview mirror where it belonged. The vibe they'd accused me of ruining? Turned out it was toxic all along. I just finally had the strength to walk away from it. 6 months later, Daddy recovered fully. Mama and I had lunch every Sunday. Tyrell and I started a foundation providing scholarships to medical students from working-class families. The other 17? I sent them each a card on the anniversary of the petition. Thank you for showing me who you really were. It saved me years of wasted effort. None of them responded. But every single one of them knew. The girl they'd tried to exclude had become someone they could never ignore.